तुम्हें वापस जाना पड़ेगा भूमि। इस ऑपरेशन में ये तुम्हारा आखिरी टास्क होगा।
ये जो डबल लाइफ होता है, तुमको आइडिया है ये कितना हार्ड है?
Hello, Aaditi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you? You're looking very lovely, I must say.
Thank you. भूमि चेंज हो रही है, इसके लिए ऐसे दिख रही है अभी। भूमि चेंज हो रही है। That's the line of the show.
The movie also, the web series is changing.
A web
The
series?
character?
No, I would say that it's just gone one step forward. But yes, there is a lot that's going to happen this time compared to... Of course, the first season also had a lot going on. So I think as a character, I feel that it has gone one step forward. But being in the same element as Bhumi was, a lot of things are going to change around her. So as the surroundings change, we all know that Bhumi is very, I think she's the kind of person who's very sensitive. So, you know, if there is something going on that is probably, she's compatible at the same time. So if it's going to be of use to her, she just adapts to it. This, I think so.
It is a very challenging character, very nuanced as well. How much homework did you have to do, to get into this character?
Well, in fact, the first season was a very big surprise to me because when I was selected for it, I didn't know that I was selected for it for the longest time because I had met Imtiaz sir for I had done a reel, I remember, and I showed it to him. So that reel had a certain element of what Bhumi would be is what he thought. But then he told me that you don't fit the part. He told me that. So I thought if the writer is saying that, yeah, and he said that, you know, but would you still like to read it? So I said, yeah, sure. I mean, if I don't fit it, why should I read it? But of course, if you're saying, sir, I wanted to work with him. So I said, yeah, sure. And the accent was something I tried in the audition. I mean, in the look test that happened. And it worked out. So that's how... I actually didn't really do much of homework other than just going and visiting a chawl around my, where I live. I just went and looked around because I had no idea what a constable is like, you know. Because you come from very different sides of life and then suddenly you get a character and then you know that you're the center of the show and you're like, oh God, I have a huge responsibility. I have to for sure do my job well is one thing, but also I wanted to impress Imtiaz sir because it was my first with him, you know, and I didn't want to be like, and he kept telling me, don't make it very slow. You know, those words still like ring in my head, like whenever I'm even looking at the trailer, because what is slow exactly? Because the girl is slow. Like, she's actually not slow, but she's a little slow-paced, you know. She's a bit lost in her own world and she's fine where she is. So, yeah, I mean, that was very kind of haunting. And at one point I thought that, I kept asking him even then that, sir, has it become slow? Because the way I talk is also slow. So I said, should I change something? And he was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. That's all he would tell me. So, yeah, I think the homework that I did was just about maybe I looked around where I eat vada pav quite a lot. I would not deny that. So I saw these constables, you know, eating vada pav in Parla East. And I saw them and I said, oh, constables. This is the first time I actually noticed a constable, very honestly. And they were just like thin, frail, just like me, you know. So I was like, I was just watching them, observing them. And then I realized that they come there every day. So I started going there every day. So I went there for a week and I kept watching them. So उसमें मुझे कहीं ना कहीं एक भूमि मिल गई. I figured that, you know, maybe Bhumi is somewhere here. And I tried it out.
So was the transformation into the other part of her, of Bhumi, where she becomes this prostitute, you know, so much aware of her sexuality, was that more challenging?
Yes, it was quite challenging because I think like Bhumi didn't know who she was, even I didn't know who Bhumi was. So I didn't really apply my mind to it, or I didn't, you know, I didn't sway it by my personality. Because if I would do that, that would immediately, एक look से भी वो अलग हो सकती थी. It was literally like walking on a very thin rope, with, like probably in a valley, you know, in between two mountains. It was always like that. So like most of the times what Imtiaz sir told me was that you make sure that Bhumi is in the state Bhumi started, you know, don't drift. Even if it's a character change or whatever, don't drift it completely. So, and I would keep discussing with him most of the times that, sir, mere dimag mein ye aaya hai, can I do it? What do you think? And I didn't do anything drastic. Like, I didn't try anything drastic. I just kept going baby steps forward. Like, अगर भूमि prostitute के इसमें खड़ी है वहाँ पे, तो कहीं ना कहीं she has to have that kind of confidence that, you know, Nayak will actually believe that she is a prostitute. So if you see, there's a slight hip out that I did, you know, very slight. So वो सिर्फ इतना ही आपको लगेगा कि ये भूमि है और उसके अंदर से बहुत ज़्यादा डरी हुई है, but she's doing this for the job that she has to do. And if you see, Batre also says that to her, that, you know, ये तेरे को अभी मजा आने लगा है यहाँ पे, you know, that kind of thing. So that, then she realizes that, yeah, maybe मुझे मजा आ रहा है यहाँ पे, to kind of get another personality and get out of that shambles of the, you know, the household constant taunts that she had from her sister and mother. She started enjoying this life. So yeah.
But what is your take on a woman's sexuality, especially, you know, in today's times?
Well, I think that, you know, this whole thing about man being strong or a woman being strong, or then man curbing a woman's, for example, mostly the women are not open about their sexuality or their feelings, or even their, in fact, they're being, you know, they're always supported by somebody. So this is a mindset that we have been, you know, you have been educated with this everywhere, all over the world. I'm not just talking about India. But what I feel is that, agar Bhoomi, आपको लगता है कि there is something that one can take away from this show, is that if Bhoomi has realized her potential, okay, as a woman, and she has now gone ahead with courage to portray that potential, if Bhoomi can do it, there are many such Bhoomis around us who are just waiting, you know. So we are actually givers and receivers. Like, if you talk about Mother Earth, why do you say Mother Earth? Because she is a giver and she's a receiver also, right? So women, I think women by law, by the nature of the law, are very, very strong. They just have been educated to be weak, you know, कि pink लड़कियों का कलर है और blue लड़कों का कलर है, और जितना हम इसके बारे में fight या rebel करना कम करेंगे, like for example, भूमि ने किसी के साथ fight नहीं किया कि मैं ठंडी हूँ या asexual हूँ. भूमि ने सिर्फ अपना जो है अंदर का, that's why it's a beautiful journey of one character and her mindset, that she followed her mind and the power came through by itself, you know. It was not that she was saying, नायक तू कम है मुझसे या मैं तुझसे ज़्यादा हूँ. It was always like, मैं कौन हो रही हूँ, मैं change हो रही हूँ, मुझे समझ में आ रहा है मैं कौन हूँ. So it was always from within. So I think I would say in one word or a nutshell, that the power is within you as women. You just have to explore it. Maybe Bhoomi did it through her sexuality. Other women can do it maybe through other ways.
Is that how you would infer the title She?
Yes, I think so. Because anyway, it's coming, you know, Vijay and me always had this joke and he kept saying, why isn't it he and why is it she? I said, because she comes before he. Simple as that. But yeah, I think it is true that a woman always, she's a creator and she comes before. And I feel, very honestly, I feel that we have the male-female energy both within us. We just have to tap into which side of, at which moment or at which point do you tap onto which energy in your own self is what portrays who you are at that moment. So I don't think one can say कि ये asexual है या ये मर्दानी है या ये बहुत ही feminine है या ये लड़की है. हम सब में दोनों हैं, I feel, you know. It's just that what do you explore as a, say for example, I'm Aaditi, but I've just taken over this identity, right? So energy wise, what do I explore? And I feel Bhoomi has, at every single minute, I think she's not really used her mind and she's just gone ahead with her heart, because it's so, imagine a girl like Bhoomi being in a situation like this. It's so freaky.
Yes, and it freaks the viewers too.
Yeah, I mean, because it did freak me out when I thought about the character. Yaar, ye bichari ladki, I mean, what's going to happen to her? And then suddenly you see kicking Sasya's ass, like completely, you know, in the first season, in fact. So yeah, now of course in the second one, she knows this about herself. So there will be a change. That's why she says, "Main change ho rahi hai," because there will be a change where she has realized something else is there within her, which she has explored.
And talking of the change in Imtiaz Ali, we associate him with love, romance, Ruby, Sufi, you know, all the soft things of life. And here it is a thriller, you know, entering into a crime world. Were you surprised when you read this script?
Yes, I mean, being Imtiaz sir, he doesn't talk much, so I had no idea who's written the script. I didn't know who's directing it also. So I kept, I asked much later, I said, who's the writer of the show? I mean, who's written this script, you know, that kind of thing. And he said, I have written it. I said, no. He's like, no, I have written it. I said, how come? But you know, while I was performing this part, I realized there is so much romance that is there within Bhoomi. There is romance in this script completely. And now the romance is going to transcend into another form probably, which could be Nayak or which could be, you know, as it's going to progress. I'm sure you all have seen it in the teaser by now, so I can say it, that it will now, she will look for that, but she will look for that love that was within. I think she was enjoying that love that she got, you know, with the, I think, I don't know, it's a very mysterious kind of a discovery that Bhoomi's had about herself. And she's romancing it, you know. And now there is somebody to validate that romance, I think, which is Nayak. So I think it's a completely romantic script. I would not deny that. Of course, there's a lot of thrill going on behind it. But very surprising that something like this coming from Imtiaz sir. I was also very surprised. And even the audience was very surprised that how has he written something like this? And maybe should probably explore more of thriller.
And would you rather have worked in a typical romantic saga of his?
Well, no. I think I'm very happy with this script because this has so much to do, and as an actor, it's such a meaty role, you know. I think any actor would jump onto the script over any running around the trees for that matter. Of course, that's more, that's easier to perform than this, but this has so much, like, you know, as they say, the satiety value, when you feel sumptuous, when you eat a good meal. I feel like that as an actor when I perform a script like She.
We all love Imtiaz Ali, you know, his idea of love and romance. But what kind of a maker is he up close and personal?
I think he's one of those makers who are very liberal. Like, you know, he would never tell me what to do. He would suggest, but he would first watch me. Like, he would always say, let's perform the scene first, and then he would tell me, what's your mind? What are you thinking? What is the thought behind this? So I would say, this is my thought. Oh, okay. So that's a new perspective, you know? It was never like, no, that's not it. This is it, because I have written it like that. He would always explore my mind as Bhoomi, because I think he is of a mindset who's always told me that I have written the part, I have written a character, but you're taking it forward with your personality, with your life experiences, and with the things that you think Bhoomi is. So why not explore that? Maybe something else will happen as you keep performing it. And I am from stage, I am from theatre. I've worked with Makarand Deshpande, and he's of the same, you know, thought process. Everybody's like, अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि ये कहीं और जा सकता है, let's explore it. Why not? What is going to happen? We are just going to try it, right? So it was never like it was always like a give and take. I always felt like an actor, and I felt like he's my director who's telling me what to do, who's suggesting what to do rather than telling me what to do, you know, enforcing. Like some directors are like that, who have a very strong ideologies, like this is how my character is and it doesn't change at all. But Imtiaz sir is not one of those. In fact, he will observe so much that he'll eventually tell you that, look, I hadn't even written this, but it came out so well. You know, that kind of thing.
More like an actor's director.
Yeah, completely. And I'm a director's actor. So if you are my director, I'll turn towards you like the hush puppy and I'll say, yeah, tell me what to do, and I'll do exactly that. So mere liye to it was hand in glove.
So what about your other director, Prakash Jha? I mean, between the two of them,
right.
Who is the tougher taskmaster?
Taskmaster is a good name, but yeah, he's, well, I think Prakash Jha, and if I have to compare Imtiaz sir and Prakash Jha, of course he's extremely senior, no doubt about it, and a terrific filmmaker. Like, if you speak about drama, in fact the show is also doing really well right now, the 3rd season. But yeah, the mammoth scale that he operates on, Prakash sir, is incredible. I mean, I have no idea how does he manage so many people at a large, you know, and at the same time keeping an eye on who, like, for example, I'm playing the protagonist of that show too, so he would always know what I'm doing as per me, you know. He would, and same as Imtiaz sir, even if he was not on set sometimes, he would know what Bhoomi is doing, because when I meet him next time, he would be like, how was that scene? Like, what do you think? And that what do you think, I always understand what do you think is. And I said, so what do you think? Like, do you like it? Did it go well? And he's like, yeah, I liked it. So that's how I know that he's liked the scene, you know. There's no, uski zyada charcha nahi hoti hai. There's no talking about it at length. It's just that much. So I think both these directors are so veteran and so been there for so many years that you know just by their smile or their smirk or how is it, you know that the scene was good. Yeah.
So Ashram 3, I mean, it hasn't got a good critical response.
Yes.
Do critics matter?
Oh, well, I feel as an actor, I do my bit for the character and I look at myself as my critique and I feel if I'm not done that even one scene well, it haunts me. I can't sleep for days. So I make sure that I do the scene well, irrespective of the time or how many, whatever takes, if it does take many takes. And I give my best and I leave it to that. After that, I think it's not my job as an actor. I think I leave it to the makers as well as the, you know, the production house or whatever, however it's going to go forward. I do my job and I just leave after that.
But what do you think? Seasons is a good idea, especially the first season of She came in 2020.
Right.
Do you think people remember?
Yes. Oh yeah, people remember and people are waiting. Like I was very surprised because everybody on my Instagram is suddenly shot up and they're like, oh shit, Bhoomi is coming again. Bhoomi is back again, you know, that kind of thing because they have, I think, loved Bhumika's characters exactly because she's one of everyone. She's one of these, और हीरो कौन इतना होता है हीरो हमेशा वही होता है जो आम आदमी में से जो उभरता है right so she has become that for many people like and you'll not believe it there were different stratas of people who have actually loved the show like there were some fishermen who met me in D-Mart in and near Yari Road and they recognized me just through my mask and said that Shima the Bhari kam kela you know that kind of thing you know so I was like wow I mean y'all have liked this journey then there is of course the crowd which is probably the how to say the niche audience that watches this kind of stuff they have loved it and then there are people who are on regular basis also pretty much everybody has watched it which is again a very big achievement for an actor like me who's just started off, you know. So I think people do remember Bhoomi and I think let's see how the season does. I mean, that will prove it.
Do you think finite series work better than the infinite, you know, seasons, endless seasons?
Well, I watched Inventing Anna and I was very disappointed that it's over because I still talk like her. I was so in love with Anna and the whole story and it was a finite series. So I think as an audience, I would love to watch probably finite series because it leaves you at an edge. But at the same time, as an actor, I feel if there are 3 seasons or 4 seasons, it helps the character build over time, which is actually the purpose of OTT. I mean, that's the path of OTT, you know, that you show that the character started from somewhere, like Queen of the South also for that matter, started off as selling cocaine and then she becomes the Dawn, you know, in a way. So I think it does take that much time to build that entire character in the story. So I think as an actor, I feel 4 seasons at least or 3 seasons would be a good idea.
So we can certainly expect 2 more seasons of She?
Well, I think there are people here who could shoot me if I tell you. Actually, I don't know. I don't know yet. Even when I did the first season, I didn't know if there's going to be a second season because Imtiaz Ali never told me. And then as the season went ahead and it did well, I was told that you're doing the second season and we are starting the writing. So I think once this season comes out, we'll know.
So from theatre to movies to OTT, how do you look at your journey?
I think as an actor, I've only been hungry for parts in the sense of performances where I could show different maybe sides of me. And as an actor also, I believe that as life is passing by, you're living a certain character for a reason, you know. Like at that point of time, I was in that state of mind maybe in my real life because it gets so close to you that you cannot really be any different from whom you're playing. I cannot be. I mean, I cannot be on my phone all the time on set. I'm very interested in the life of this character, of where it's going, because it's so well written. Both, in fact, Pammi also and Bhoomi also, they're so well written that I want to explore every side. Like if you've seen there's a way that she's standing in the chawl with that nightgown in the first season. So I have seen these girls, you know, when I always wondered, looking at them, what are they thinking about? Are they even thinking of why they are here in this lifetime, to begin with? Or how is their life like? Because they all look the same. They all are standing in the same way and they're talking casually, you know, they go to their work and they come back. So I think for me, I feel that I like to spend that time with the character. And it does make a lot of difference even after I finish playing the character, that I really change after that as a person. So I think in this journey where I invest so much time of my existence on earth, like as Aditi, I'm spending all this time and energy towards something. So first it has to flourish because there's so much energy given to it, and secondly I feel that if it's giving me something, like for example Bhoomi has given me tremendous courage and patience, so I have understood, I myself have become calmer compared to what I used to be. And I've also caught on to a little bit of Bhumi's pace. I wouldn't deny that. And I'm watching things. I don't get stressed out very quickly. I try and think, oh, if this is not working out, what else can work out, So it did change my mindset also. So I think it really kind of impacts your life as an actor if you do maybe intense characters like these. So, yeah.
So between Bhumi and Pami, which one would be your favorite?
Oh, this is like asking, I was just telling someone, this is like asking Kareena Kapoor on Coffee with Karan, तुम्हें सलमान के साथ काम करना है, शाहरुख के साथ काम करना है?
Yeah, almost like that.
Oh, well, I think both are in their. Actually, I'm very surprised and I'm very happy actually that both the seasons have come out back to back, because there I'm playing a 19-year-old, here it's Bhumi is 29-year-old. So getting that innocence and getting a different kind of innocence out of Bhumi was quite a task, because Bhumi has lived a certain life, but she's very innocent. That is why you latch on to her so much, because you see that vulnerable side of her and you see the pure heart in a way. And so is Pammi. So I think if I had to do, I don't know between the two, but if I have to do something new, I would do a mix of those two or something like that.
But at personal level, do you relate to both these characters?
Yes, I do. Completely. Yeah, I do.
Which part? Their vulnerability or their strength?
I think the triumph. Both characters have triumphed something, and they are clearly walking on the path of courage with truth within them. That's why you have courage. Courage is only coming out of truth, and truth is like air. It's there. You cannot lie after that. You will be caught no matter what, So I think जो भूमि कर रही है, in fact भूमि का एक बहुत ही अलग अंदाज है, एक थॉट प्रोसेस है, which is वो झूठ मतलब हमेशा सच बोलती है, but जब वो सच बोल रही है, the situation that she's talking about, the truth that she's speaking about, that is the lie. You understand? So it's like slight manipulation, but that's survival. Yeah. So she's never lying about what she's speaking. But right now, if I tell you something which the situation is such that I'm telling you this, and I chose this moment to tell you, that is the lie. So.
But two successful shows on OTT, how much does success change you?
I feel success should have nothing to do with the change in one's personality. Because success is like a huge wave, It comes with a lot of energy and a lot of, everybody's looking at you, everybody's speaking about you. And people look at you like, oh my God, this is never going to end, And even if you're successful for years and years, that wave is coming and then the wave is going to go down. But you have to understand your reality as a person, I feel. And because you know what, otherwise it'll kind of restrict you from doing other parts. Like if I am doing another part right now and I still am in the success of अरे भूमिका को कितना applause मिला और पम्मी तो कितने hit हो गई और मैं उसी में अटकी रही, if I'm just stuck in that reality, because that's past. So if I'm thinking about the past and I'm not there right now in my present moment, how is it going to change my future? Because my past will eventually become my future. So, and that is bygone. The energy there is gone. So I feel that I think success should make you a better person rather than changing. Because when you're not successful, you have fear. So when you're successful, the fear is gone. So automatically you should be, in fact, more flowing, with life.
But success also puts some fear of not doing as well.
Yeah, because I think if you're stuck in that success, because if you start with a new, afresh, that, मैंने कुछ नया लिया है, and let's put in all this effort towards this and believe in this, then if it's successful or not will not be a question in your heart. You'll just perform as an actor, I feel, and you'll just stick by the craft.
So let's talk about your future. What more can we expect from you in the near future?
I would love to talk about it, but I'm doing films. I'm doing romantic films. So it's going to show another side.
Which all productions, opposite whom?
Well, they are all lone people. So right now they've not announced it, so I won't be able to talk about it. But it's a romance, and it's a different side that I wanted to explore. Which a girl next door who's romantic, simple as that. Which I've always grown up watching films like people who are in their in your youth, you go and you watch these typical Alia Bhatts and everybody running around colleges. That kind of thing. I always was wondering that यार ये सच में थोड़ी होता है यार. जब मैं कॉलेज गई थी ये तो हुआ ही नहीं मेरे साथ कभी. इतना boring सा कॉलेज था मेरा. And I was like, how do they always like they manage to show you like such a beautiful picture about schools and colleges that normal people go there and get disappointed and they study and they come back. So I always wondered that what would it be like to do a romantic film, and it's come my way now. So I'm going to probably do that, and a very interesting shows are coming up that I really don't want to. A lot of people ask me about OTT and film and there's that. I look at it as a script, and I there are two things I think which are important, which is the director and the script. I think these two are the heroes, like they are the actual driving force of any script. So if they are there in place, I think OTT ho ya street play ho ya jo bhi ho, it's going to, people are going to latch onto it. And you are a creator, right? So people would want to watch you perform something. How does it matter what's happening otherwise? And that's how I took my first step forward, because a lot of people told me that, why don't you do films before you do any web? I said, ये आप करके दिखा दो script मेरे को फिल्मों में, तो मैं कर लूँगी फिल्में फिर, because this needs this space and this needs its own time. Kate Winslet is doing, she's doing the Mayor of Easttown, like, at the same time last year she'd done it. What a beautiful, portrayal of this. She plays that detective, right? So I think that a script is script, and I think an actor should just focus on that.
But now the theatres have opened up. Do you think people's appetite for OTT has diminished somewhat?
Well, I think anywhere there is excess, it's going to affect the quality somewhere. तो अभी OTT पे सब कुछ काम करने लगा है, तो करते रहो ये हो गया है. So maybe somewhere the performances and the script, the writing has been compromised. But I think the whole deal about a phone and you watching your now. People have their favorite stars on OTT, they will not go and watch, because they would want to, while lying down, watch something on their television, watch something, and they can switch it off if they're sleepy, think over it all night, mull over it, watch it again in the morning. So this kind of, I think, flow of content is extremely new to people. So I think this will go on for quite a bit, because what I've been watching and hearing from people, that watching films has kind of become like a dekhte hai yaar. It's become an effort somewhere. Because see, you take a ticket and then you are stuck in the cinema hall, because then if the film is not good, you just have to keep eating those popcorns and put on weight for no reason, and then you can't even get out of the theater, right? So I think compared to that, people get together, watch, like we are all going to watch She on 17th. We have a plan. So I think, it's going to last for a while.
And talking of your co-stars, you have a Bobby Deol on one side and a Vishwas Kidney on another. So between us, a real bona fide star and upcoming actors.
Yes.
Is there a difference between acting with both of them?
Well, honestly, with Bobby sir, it was more like a newcomer only. Like I was a newcomer, but he seemed like, I would say, how Vishwas was with me. Bobby sir was just like that. Just that there's a whole huge entourage that follows him behind, and that Bobby Deol is walking by from the van, But otherwise, when he's on set, he's just himself, and he's wonderful to work with. He's really childlike, तो बहुत बार तो हम ऐसे उनको मजाक उड़ाते थे उनका कि सर आपको आलू टिक्की खानी है, मैंने तो खा ली. तो उनका ऐसा, ये मेरा खाना खा जाती है यार हमेशा. I eat a lot. And I was also a wrestler in that.
You eat a lot, it doesn't look it.
I eat a lot. A lot. So
are you into heavy workouts and all?
Yes, I work out quite a bit, but I don't really compromise on my food. So he would always say that, हमेशा मेरा खाना खा जाती है, इसको दूर रखो मुझसे. So very chilled out kind of a vibe. And with Vishwas, so of course he's dost, matlab, So हमेशा हम लोग अभी भी हम, before the interview started, he had messaged me. So we always catch up wherever we live close by also. So Vijay for that matter. So we always like catch up, and I think it's the same actually. With both the co-actors, it was the same.
You're talking about future, 10 years, so how do you look at yourself 10 years from now?
Well, I'm at present scared of the environment. In 10 years, where will we be? Because looking at this whole lockdown and corona and everything happening, I have stopped making plans. I'm just flowing in the moment and I'm just enjoying my life to the fullest because I think that is the only thing we have, which is this present moment, you know, because I recently lost my father in November and I was shooting for She at that time. So I realized that these moments are so important, you know. Abhi मैं अगर आपके साथ हूँ तो I'm here right now and I'm enjoying this part of my life thoroughly. I'm never in a rush or anything and I always feel like people come on set and they're like pack up कब हो रहा है? I said क्यों pack up होना चाहिए जल्दी? You have come here, committed your time, committed yourself. Then why do you have 10 plans? I mean, this is what I think. So I think I've stopped making plans and I think that let's see what happens with She and let's see what happens with the films that I'm doing. But I've realized one thing and I've promised myself one thing, that I'm really going to enjoy this journey, have fun with it. And if I become successful and it gets to my head or something like that, I'll give myself a hit and I'll say, shut up, you know, don't go that way.
Okay. So in times like this, where moments are very precious, why should people invest in watching She second season?
Well, because it's worth investing all those moments Bhumika has lived performing for the audiences, and the changes that she's going through are going to change a lot in them. So I think when you watch She, you will take back so much more than you wouldn't imagine that this is what you're going to go through the strides of how Bhumi is feeling emotionally, physically. I would say there are so many scenes where there is physically she's been challenged, and where how she reacts to that. So I think every moment that Bhumi has spent is for the audience to watch and enjoy, and I think she will be successful in taking them through this journey with her.
With thrills intact.
100%, 100%. Roller coaster ride.
Okay. Aditi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
and
you.
a pleasure talking to you.
Yes.
And all the best for your upcoming shows, She, as well as your future projects.
Thank
and hope to catch up with you again. Thank you
Yes,
again.
soon. Thank you.
Soon.
Thank you.